Hello everyone, it's the Canadian Futures Trader here. Thanks for checking out this video. Before we get to the actual video itself, I want to do a quick introduction. This video that you're going to watch is actually part of a larger series I've put together for futures traders. I started out futures trading just a few years ago, and I found it really difficult to find good information to learn how to trade futures. So what I've done is put together this completely free course. It's on my website. There's a link down below. There's no upsells. There's nothing for sale on my website. So just come absorb the information. If you like this video, definitely encourage you to check out all the others in the series as well. On top of that, I mean, there's just a ton of written content. It's only going to grow. I'm only going to add to this over time. This is my way of giving back to everybody. It's all the information that I had to figure out on my own when I first started, and there's no reason that everybody should have to go through that process, and there's no reason you should have to pay for expensive courses that really don't teach you much of anything outside of the basic. I'm going to leave you with that. Enjoy the video. In this video, I'm going to explain the trade setup that is basically break high or break low. You're looking for the price action to break the highs or the lows of the session. A lot of times with the ultra bonds, when it does break the high, you can get a several tick little run. Basically, stops are triggered, the price carries through. You might even get lucky and some other buyers or sellers jump on and push it even further. Now, a lot of times this trade kind of goes hand in hand with the other trade setup that I called the catch-up. So you kind of actually have both of those happening at the same time. So I'm using this example to kind of demonstrate the break high, but let me explain what's going on and kind of the context of this setup. So here on the right, on the ultra bond, I just entered, I'm long at the price of 11. Now you see the ultra bond is about 4 ticks off the high. It looks like it touched on 16, but no contracts traded. Over here on the 10 years, they're trading pretty much right at the high as well. They're trading at 90.95. A few contracts have traded here. So all signs point to this might be a great setup. If the 10 years can break their highs and the ultra bond is sitting several ticks off their high, we might get what would be considered the catch-up and then continue on and break the high. So like I said, it's kind of both, and a lot of times they do go hand in hand. Now this is actually a fairly quick trade, so I'm going to let this play and I'll just kind of comment on it. So like I said, I'm long at the price of 11. I've set a take profit up here about 2 ticks above the high. Again, the high is technically 15 because that's where contracts traded. So this trade is not going to be the biggest breaking of the highs, but it is the breaking of the highs. So again, I mean, I'm going to pause this for a sec. Over here on the 10 years, they're seeing nothing but buyers. They're just clearing this out, and they are breaking their high. As well, off screen, what you can't see is the 30 years. They're also breaking their highs. So I've mentioned in other videos, I will mention it again. I typically am using information from the 10 years and the 30 years to make decisions on the ultra bond if the setup is correct. This was a situation where you have the 10 years and 30 years trading at their highs and looking to push it further. Meanwhile, you had the ultra bond trading down here several ticks off their high. That leaves a lot of potential for this to move up several ticks, and that's a lot of profit potential. You can see, even if it just got up to its high, that's a $500 winner at 4 contracts. So I'll continue to let this play. Now at this point, I don't have a stop loss. We're seeing the 30 years here continue to break. Look, they're just continuing to break their highs. Every indication now, the ultra bond is up here 3 ticks from our entry. If the 10 years can continue to break their highs, we're sitting pretty. I mean, right now, we're 2 ticks away from our take profit. I did not put a stop on this trade. I'm going to pause this again for a sec because it ends here very quickly. Not to jump to the punchline, but we do get a nice 6-take win here. It does come up and fill this. So again, just to recap the setup here, you have 10 years, you have 30 years pushing their highs, continuing to push their highs. The ultra bond was not at its high, so there was a lot of potential to basically do the catch-up and then further on break its high. If, for example, back when the 10 years were trading near their highs, if the ultra bonds were near their highs as well, there might have still been potential there to break the high, but there's not as much potential. You're really looking for almost this combo catch-up with the cherry on top be breaking the high. You know, buyers who push this all the way from 11 to 14 aren't looking to get out there. They're looking to continue this on and try to get as much out of this as they can. And case in point, that is us as well. You do have traders, though, keep in mind, who have a ton of buying power, and they can push this up a lot higher. Because the Ultra Bond is a lot thinner traded product than, say, the 10 years or the 30 years, it's easy for someone who has buying power to come in and put on a 20 lot, a 30 lot, and try to get another few ticks out of this. So I'll let this play, and you'll see basically I already gave it away, but we come up here, we get filled. And right there we get filled. I'll just let this continue to play, and you see that was actually a pretty great exit because it backticks a few ticks here, it kind of bounces around here. The video ends there, but from what I recall, this one actually also, it might have went up a little bit more, but I think it then falls back into the range. So, you know, breaking high doesn't always mean it's just going to break high and break high and break high and continue up, up, and up. My strategy is lock in those few ticks winners, and honestly, anything over 2 ticks I would consider pretty fantastic in the Ultra Bond. Again, part of why I trade the Treasuries is you have a high per tick value. So every tick for every contract is $31.25. So trading a 4 lot there, every tick is $125. So setting that take profit really worked out well because you can see here, even at this point, that was the highest price that it traded at. It looks like it came up here and touched it. Basically, the price action was 17, 18, but no contracts traded at 18. So we pretty much got the max out of this in the current time frame. Sure, maybe it went on to run up higher, but you know what? I'm more than happy with this trade. Little example of the break high kind of combo with the catch up. I think the biggest thing is just to recognize the order flow, recognize buyers were pushing this up. They weren't going to relent. They weren't going to stop, you know, down here at 14 or 15. They were going to ride this up a few more ticks at a minimum, and that's where we were able to capitalize on this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.